spaghetti western. A pair of undefeated gunslingers squaring off here in this Texas town. The only question is who would blink first. In the end, it was Charlie Morton of the Astros who outdueled Mike Clevenger of the Indians to give Houston a series opening win. And now it's up to Corey Kluber to try and even the score. Hello again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. It's always a pleasure to watch Corey Kluber go out and pitch. Dallas Keuchel, the guy who will oppose him, is also a former Cy Young Award winner. Keuchel is interesting. He's lost 5 games this year. In those 5 losses, Houston has scored a total of 4 runs in support of him. Corey Kluber has had no such problems so far this year.
No, they usually score when Kluber's on the mound, and you know the magic number for him is 4, as we all know. But Kluber has been typical Kluber all year long. He's been almost unhittable at home, but on the road, he's got a couple of wins. That slider's been unbelievable. His changeup, he always keeps his team in a ball game. We expect him to do the same. And Dallas Keuchel, a guy you must make him get the ball up. He's not overpowering. He'll go inside, outside, change speeds, keep you off balance. Got off to a slow start this year, but because of that, you know, they haven't scored runs, but he's been pitching very well late, going deep into the games, and you can see Kluber 6-2 on the year, 5-3 against the Astros, and Dallas Keuchel 3-5, but he's 4-0 against the Indians, so something's got to give.
Yeah, the Indians have their right-handed hitting lineup in there today. We'll see how they fare against Dallas Keuchel. We'll be back with today's play-by-play. Alan Jensen have the showstopper, and we'll check in with Andre Knott straight ahead. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by Who Bought W.B. Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. And by Cleveland Clinic Express Care online. Tap the app for 24/7 virtual visits. The Astros here this afternoon. Trot trying to get back to that 500 mark. They still remain a game and a half up in the AL Central. Meanwhile, Houston at 29-17. And they lead the Seattle Mariners by 3 games in the AL West. Corey Kluber will pitch today for the Indians. And with more on that, we go downstairs to Andre Knott with our Hear Right Sounds of the Game.
Thank you, Matt. So many games we hear about the stressful innings a starting pitcher may go through, and we've talked so much about how many pitches have been thrown by certain starters with the Indians. In Corey Kluber's last start, he didn't get over 100 pitches. He was able to pitch to the scoreboard a little bit and not go deep in the game. Now, last night we watched Mike Clevenger get deeper into the game, and it looked like he wore down a little bit because of the stress earlier in the game. Thank you, Sandy. But we hear today from Corey about pitching with less stress and what that could mean to him.
I would imagine the cumulative effect of it by the end of the year probably adds up to be something. I'm not sure what, but I think that more so than the amount of pitches is probably the fact that, I was pitching with a 9-run lead for the majority of the game. So, I think that there's a definite difference between, pitching in a 1 or 2 run ball game and then having the comfort of a 9-run lead to go out there and not that you're relaxing, but it's not the same stress level as, if each hitter is the tying runner or something along those lines.
So far this year, Rick, the Indians starting pitching has averaged 6 2/3 innings per start. Hard to ask much more than that from a starting rotation in this day and age.
It's a great thing that the starters have done that, Matt, because the bullpen has pitched the fewest innings of any team in the American League, so it's taken the pressure off that bullpen, and the bullpen has still struggled. So it's a good thing that the starters have been able to do what they do. You don't want this to continue, so eventually, you would like to give them a break and get back to normalcy, but these guys have done a great job. And I'll tell you what, we're locked in for a good game today. Both these teams have great starting pitchers, the 2 best in the American League. So this is really a great series to watch, and it should be a lot of fun.
And I really get the feeling that there is a great admiration and respect on both sides for their respective opponent.
I totally agree. Manager to manager and player to player. You know what? They know they're a good team, and you're right. It's a mutual respect for each other.
The Houston Astros take the field. The roof once again will be closed today. It's another scorcher outdoors, but it'll be a very comfortable 70, 72 degrees with the lid closed here this afternoon. And what about Dallas Keuchel?
It may not be as this game warms up a little bit. Keuchel's going to be our Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher this afternoon. Look, he got off to a slow start. He's 3-5 with a .310 earned run average, but he's been pitching much better of late. In his last start, allowed 3 hits, 1 walk, and a season-high 8 strikeouts. And it was his 4th straight start of at least 7 innings, and he's pitched 7 innings in 5 of his last 6 starts. So you're looking for him to take you deep into the ball game, and he is 4-0 in his career against the Indians.
And the Indians starting lineup this afternoon for Terry Francona, presented by Progressive Insurance. Francisco Lindor will lead it off. Michael Brantley in the 2-hole, followed by Jose Ramirez. Very quietly now, Edwin Encarnacion has hit in 6 consecutive games, and he's batted .280 over his last 19. Brandon Geyer in the 5-hole, then Yan Gomes. Jason Kipnis hitting 7th. Eric Gonzalez gets the start at first base, batting 8th, and Rajay Davis will hit 9th.
Let's set the Houston defense. Gonzalez is in left, Kemp is in center, Springer over and right. On the infield, it is going to be Bregman at third, Correa at short, Altuve at second, Gurriel is at first, McCann doing the catching, and they have made only 14 errors all year long, rated number 1 in the league defensively.
And we're ready now to get underway as Francisco Lindor steps in for the Indians. Dallas Keuchel delivers, and a first pitch strike to the outside corner.
It's all about command for Dallas Keuchel, keeping the ball at the knees, moving it. He can sink it, he can cut it, and he can change speeds very well.
Lindor following it off. Lindor 0 for 5 last night in the series opener. He bangs this one in the hole. Diving stop by Bregman at third. He gets up, buggy whips it across, and they got him at first. A dynamite defensive play by Alex Bregman at third. An all-out diving stop in the hole, and then still able to get to his feet and get off a good throw to nail Lindor.
He sure did. He made a beauty. That ball was by him. He gets up quickly and makes a throw across just to get Lindor on a nice pick by Gurriel. And I'll tell you, they made some plays last night that were very good defensively. And I told you, just the 14 errors by them. And boy, oh boy, he took a base hit away from Lindor right there on an 0-2 pitch.
Great effort on both ends there for out number 1. And now Michael Brantley takes ball 1 outside. And there's a ball hit well, left center field, and it is off the top of the wall and gone for Michael Brantley. His 7th home run of the season. And it stakes the Indians to an early 1-0 lead and will extend Brantley's hitting streak to 9 games.
You know, it just looked like a fly ball going that way, Matt, and all of a sudden it hits above the yellow line and shoots into the seats. He put a really nice swing on the ball. But boy, now.
The only thing I was waiting to see is, was it going to bounce straight up and then come back into play, or was it going to hop over and get into the seats? And sure enough,
he got the bounce.
Yes. Now Jose Ramirez takes down low.
9th home run allowed by Keuchel.
And the Indians certainly have leaned on the home run ball a lot here in the first couple of months of this season.
Yeah, they lead the league with 66 homers.
Ramirez cuts and misses, and it's 2-1. Ramirez riding a 5-game hitting streak, heading into action this afternoon. And he smokes one down the left field line. That's headed all the way down into the corner, and that will be a double for Ramirez. And that gives him now 14 doubles on the year. He and teammate Francisco Lindor both with 14. Take another look at the home run by Michael Brantley.
Well, they want that right where they wanted it. It was a breaking ball away, and Brantley waited back beautifully on that ball and put a stroke on it where you're going to see it hit the top of the wall and ricochet into the seats.
Yeah, boy, he is weighted
just
back.
A nice smooth swing right there.
And you're right, it was, you could see where the catcher was set up. It was right where
He
they wanted it.
Sometimes you make your pitch, good hitters find a way to get base hits. And then Keuchel's probably saying, man, I didn't expect that to go out of the ballpark.
But if anybody should know, it's the Astros. Their home ballpark, that's a short porch in left field. It's only 315 down the line, a 19-foot wall. But last night, the game's first run came on a home run to what they call the Crawford boxes in the 3rd inning by George Springer. And that ball that he hit just barely got into the first couple of rows.
Well, Matt, you know how that we do exit velocity and things of that nature. The home run last night by Springer had the lowest exit velo of any home run in 2000.
Really?
Yes. And I would say Brantley's is probably right up there with it. I haven't checked yet. And maybe our guys will be able to check before the game's over. But that's the first 2 home runs in both with low exit velo.
Edwin Encarnacion now. Lost a handle on the bat. Luckily, he kept one hand intact.
Yeah,
it didn't go flying.
That bottom hand came off. He's trying to get a little more stickum on there.
Encarnacion homered to right field last night. And that tied the game at the time for Cleveland. And he hammers this one. Well hit, deep center field. Back is Kemp, looking up, it's off the wall. Coming around third, Jose Ramirez will be waved home. Correa will make no throw. Edwin Encarnacion's RBI double off the wall in center field makes it 2-0 Cleveland.
I don't know how you could hit a ball any farther than that. I thought that was going to be out of here, but it went to the deepest part of the park, straight away center field off the fencing out there, and boy, he put a good swing on it. The ball was down. See, he thought he hit it.
Yeah.
The way his arm went up, it was 105 coming off the bat. He thought he got it, and I'll tell you what, it only missed by a couple of feet. As Kemp plays that ball off the wall, Ramirez will score easily. So 3 consecutive extra base hits off Dallas Keuchel has the Indians to a 2-0 lead early here.
Well, he is definitely starting to heat up now with a hit in 7 straight. Brandon Guyer looks at a pitch down low, ball 1. Big bats booming early here for the Indians. Good spot here for Brandon Guyer. A, he's ahead of the count 2-0. B, 11 of his 12 hits this year have come off left-handed pitchers. And C, he's 6 for 19 with a runner in scoring position. Takes again, 3-0.
Keuchel looking in there like he liked that. He might. I don't know if they called it high, but he probably thinks he threw a strike. I saw
it was just inside.
Yeah, I saw a little tilt to his head.
And he walked him on 4 straight. Let's go back and look at the home run by Brantley on the StatCast information. 94.
Right. Okay. What was Springer's last night, Andre? Do you know?
The lowest on the year.
Was it lower than 94 is what I want to know.
Good answer, Matt. It's the lowest on the year. Give me a second. 89.7.
Gotcha. So
wow.
It was.
Yan Gomes swings at the first pitch and fouls it into the first row just beyond the Astros dugout.
Gomes has fared well against Keuchel in his career. .417, average 5 for 12. And I would think because Keuchel keeps the ball down in the strike zone, Gomes is a good low ball hitter. One of the reasons. Oh, he elevated that one.
Pops him up. Big second out for Keuchel. Storylines today brought to you by Wayside Furniture. With runners in scoring position, opposition batting just $135. But the Indians have already gotten to Keuchel here in the first. Marwin Gonzalez, good career numbers against Corey Kluber. We'll see how that plays. Indians 1 for 2 now with runners in scoring position here in the first. Jason Kipnis trying to make it hurt with some 2-out damage. Kipnis going with a rolled up Sox. 118 points better against left-handed pitchers this year than against righties for Jason Kipnis. Man, Keuchel with a perfect pitch to get ahead 0-2. Backs him away with a good fastball. That's probably a purpose pitch to maybe set up something soft in the way here. We'll see.
Stop him from leaning out over the plate, no doubt.
And Kipnis crosses him up. He drives one to right center field. That's going to score Edwin Encarnacion. Brandon Geyer will stop at third. Jason Kipnis delivers with a 2-out RBI double, and it's 3-0 Cleveland.
When you said he crossed him up, he did absolutely that, because I was watching Kemp in center field. He moved to left center field, I mean, before the pitch was made, and I mean way over. So he made a mistake with a breaking ball here. There it is. He left it out, and Kipnis ended up turning on it, hitting it to right center field. The third double in the inning, and a big 2-out base hit. Nice job, and the inning is still going.
That's got to feel pretty good for Jason Kipnis, because the 2-out hits are the ones that really hurt. And he smoked the ball last night early in the game, only to have the center fielder go up against the wall and rob him of extra bases. No such hard luck here in the early going this afternoon. Eric Gonzalez, in 6 games that he has started this month, he's 11 for 22. And no punch and Judy. 3 doubles, a triple, and a home run among those 11 hits. He gets a hit here, and Keuchel is really in trouble. He's already allowed 3. No action in the bullpen, but some guys are starting to mill around down there.
You know, we always say you get that first 2-out base hit, a lot of good things happen. Pressure gets taken off a lot of the rest of this team. So Kip with a big one.
Bounced right at Correa, the shortstop. And he'll throw him out. But the Indians score 3 runs on 4 hits. 2-man left. And the Astros are coming to bat.
He will be the Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher. Kluber is making his 10th start of the year, a 6-2 record, a .234 earned run average. He beat Houston once last year. He went 7 innings, 8 hits, 3 runs, so he's got a nice little lead here early. That always helps.
Yeah, and already 3 on the board for the Indians, and we know all about what happens when you get them 4. George Springer will lead off for Houston. 2 for 3 last night with a home run. Springer is a guy that we mentioned last night. Doesn't run a lot. In fact, he got his first stolen base of the year last night. But what he is, very dangerous from a power standpoint for a leadoff man. This will be a base hit. Rest of the Astros starting lineup for A.J. Hinch looks like this. Alex Bregman in the 2-hole. Jose Altuve, 3-time batting champ and the reigning MVP, will hit third. Carlos Correa, Brian McCann, and Yuli Gurriel in the middle. Then it's Marwin Gonzalez. Evan Gaddis starting today in the DH spot, and Tony Kemp batting ninth. Alex Bregman now takes a strike.
Springer started last night's game off with a base hit to right field. That one was on the ground. This one was off the end of the bat.
Bregman in his last 27 games has batted .292. What a backhanded grab by Yan Gomes.
Kluber, a 2-2 record in this building in the 4 games, 3 starts that he made here at Minute Maid. 5-3 in his career.
Pitch outside, 2-1. Swing and a miss, and it's 2-2. Kluber's 2-2 offering. Checked the swing. I think he went. He did, says home plate umpire Todd Tishner, and Corey Kluber has his first strikeout.
Yeah, he didn't ask for help, so he obviously saw that Bregman went around. So let's take a look at the Indians defense, brought to you by Jeep. It'll be Brantley, Davis, and Geyer in the outfield. On the infield, Ramirez, Lindor, Kipnis, Gonzalez. Behind the plate will be Yan Gomes.
And Jose Altuve. Two of the game's best squaring off right here. These are the matchups you love to see.
Yeah, a guy that's had 200 hits 4 consecutive years against a guy that doesn't give up many hits.
Altuve 4 for 18 in his career against Corey Kluber. Swung out and missed, and look at the paint on the outside corner. 0-2.
Yeah, and it's amazing. Altuve is, you know, he's not a very big guy as far as stature goes, but he's off the plate, but he has tremendous plate coverage. And we did mention last night that this guy's capable of going off the plate and getting base hits. So you have to change it up with him almost every at bat.
A little high.
Good pitch to try and get him in chase. Very good pitch. He didn't bite.
Struck him out looking.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, that doesn't happen often. You can look back there and he can question. Let's look at the sequence here by Kluber. He's going to start him off with 2 pitches away that that just dotted the outside corner. He elevated, and then it's right down the middle, but it's at the knees. And
all
it locked him up.
fastballs too.
I know it. He didn't mess around with the slider or the breaking ball that first time through. It was all heat. Let's go. That's a rarity when you see him take a called third.
Carlos Correa. 1 for 3 last night with a run scored. Weakly chopped in. It'll be Ramirez who will go to first. And the inning is over. After 1, it's Cleveland 3, Houston nothing. Second inning in Houston. Indians with a 3-0 lead. Rajai Davis will lead it off for Cleveland. Houston has been playing pretty good baseball. They've won 8 of their last 10 coming into this afternoon's matchup. The Indians, on the other hand, have lost 8 out of 12.
Yeah, they've dominated in their own division too. 17-9 overall this year in the West.
Al mentioned something at the top of the telecast. I think it was the showstopper, Tampa Bay.
Right.
Kevin Cash's club has won 5 in a row. Tampa Bay has the same record as the Indians.
They've made a couple runs this year. Remember that they got off to a slow start, and then they really battled back and put together a nice run.
Tampa Bay is currently 8 games out in the AL East, but the Indians, they're a game and a half up in the Central. Won both Detroit and Minnesota.
Right now, Dallas Keuchel trying to regroup in this inning and get it back together and reel it in. 8 men went to the plate for the Indians in the first. 4 extra base hits.
Oh, right at the bottom of the zone. Rajai Davis thought it was low, but he's rung up by Todd Tishner for the first strikeout by Dallas Keuchel here today. Our Kia drive to success among the starting rotation in the American League. Houston is #1. The Indians are #2.
But how about that? They're over a run difference. Yeah,
in the field.
That's really amazing.
And I'm sure the Astros, if A.J. Hinch and Brent Strom, their concern is probably very similar to the same one that Terry Francona has. And a ground ball single by Lindor. You'll love to have your starting rotation putting up big numbers, getting deep into the game, but it's May 19th. You don't want to look up in August, as Terry has said, and have those guys out of gas.
Yeah.
And so you sort of have that balancing act of letting your starters go, but hoping you don't run them into the ground at the same time.
Well, they haven't had that opportunity yet, the way the Indians bullpen has performed. And everybody so far has performed, under of what has been expected.
Michael Brantley gave the Indians the lead in the first with opposite field home run. He was looking to turn on that one, fouls it back.
Well, I like that approach by Lindor, that last at bat of taking him the other way like that, because you will see a lot of pitches out there that he will try to get you to pull from the right side.
Yeah, I almost wonder in Brantley's at bat in the first inning if that was his game plan going up, looking for a pitch to drive to the opposite field, or if it was just simply react to what was thrown.
He just stayed back. He just reacted to what was thrown. It was a way he hit a good pitch, but look at Encarnacion went to the the right center field. Ramirez ended up pulling one. He made a mistake to Kipnis. Kipnis got a breaking ball after he had 2 strikes in the at bat.
Brantley with a hit now 9 in a row. Down on the count here, but so far this year, Brantley with a man on base, his batting average jumps up to .390. Try to go in, but off the plate.
Michael's a different animal, but he gets the 2 strikes. Not many hitters can hit with 2 strikes like he does. He still has a good eye at the plate. He doesn't chase a lot of pitches. You may get him out. I'll tell you what, you better make your pitch to get him out, because he still is very lethal with 2 strikes.
And when he's seeing the ball really well, and we've had this conversation before about hitters go through peaks and valleys, but when he's really seeing it well and locked in,
Forget about it.
the 2-strike thing becomes ridiculous, because he can wait longer than most hitters. He doesn't have to worry about cheating, getting the head out. He can just wait.
They foul pitches off to
Spoil
until you make a mistake on him. See, he's trying to make a good pitch to get inside and make a perfect pitch, and right now it's a 3-2 count. And you know what happened in his first at bat? He went breaking ball away, and what happened to it? It didn't come back. So we'll see what he does here, 3-2.
See if he tries to stay in with that fastball.
I want to see what Michael's looking for. He got a fastball.
Chops one over the mound. But Correa able to turn that into an easy inning-ending double play. Middle of the second, Cleveland 3, Houston 0.
Are on the go with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply.
Look at Yankee fan. Whoops, I bought the wrong tickets. Thought the Yankees was here.
They were a couple of weeks ago.
Corey Kluber goes to work against Brian McCann, Yuli Gurriel, and Marwin Gonzalez here in the second. I thought this was really interesting because Brian McCann, he's been around a long time now, but he's not one of those catchers that I think gets maybe a lot of notoriety, and yet from a durability standpoint, you cannot deny this. This is his 1,499th game at the catching position. Whether it's tomorrow or the next day or so, he'll become only the 30th catcher ever to catch 1,500 games.
That's very impressive, and can hit to go along with that. And the Astros have 6 shutouts this year, and he's caught
been the
5
guy,
out of the
5, yeah.
6.
So he's not just a one-dimensional. Well, you can't catch 1,500 games if you're not really good behind the plate.
He ever since he was with Atlanta, went to New York, you know, turned into a pull hitter there, which sometimes can hurt you here when you got the short porch in left field.
The 1-2. I just wonder though if you went around and asked people who not necessarily are fans of maybe the Astros or even the Braves where he played
baseball.
so many. I wonder how many people would just kind of forget about him as, and name some of your top catchers in the game. I wonder how many people would have his name.
You know, it's funny when you say things like that. There's a lot of guys that fly under the radar in this game, you know, that you don't think about when you talk about the top of, let's say, just about anything. There's so many players, and there's a lot of very good players in this game that are underrated
because they're just steady, maybe not flashy.
Right.
Swung out and missed. Corey Kluber strikes him out. That's 3 Ks for Kluber. Injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk. Juan Lagares had a toe injury and had surgery. Ryan Braun dealing with a back issue down for the Brewers, and Jaime Garcia out with a shoulder injury for the Blue Jays. Yuli Gurriel, 2 for 4 last night. Fouls this one out of play. As far as Indians injury news, let's go down to Andre Knott.
Well, Lonnie Chisenhall has been traveling with the team, and he will leave the team tomorrow, and he will head to Columbus. He will begin a rehab stint Monday. He'll play 3 to 4 innings for Columbus on Monday, take the day off, then play again on Wednesday, and he'll.
Whoa! I think Andre ran into a pole down there or something. I'm not sure. We'll see if we can reestablish communication.
Stepped in a bucket of water.
Kluber has Gurriel down on the count 0-2. Well, I'll just add to what Andre was talking about with Lonnie Chisenhall, because I talked to Tito yesterday about Melky Cabrera. And, you know, he's had 38 at-bats in the minors so far. He's hit about 290, got 4 doubles. And I asked him, is he close? What do you think about it? And he said, well, I just think he needs some more at-bats. You know, he missed, obviously, all of spring training, first month or so of the season, as Gurriel takes a called third, and now Kluber starting to really roll. He's fanned 4 of the first 6 to start the game.
Well, he started this breaking ball at him. And I mean, watch the movement. It locked him up. It jelly-legged him. Look at it, starts at him. It jelly-legged him, and he got the call. It came on the inside corner. He wasn't looking for that. And rarely do you look for a Kluber slider there. Beautiful pitch.
And up comes Marwin Gonzalez. Was it foul? Marwin Gonzalez 1 hit in his last 24 at bats. That 1 hit last night when he snapped an 0 for 22. Corey Kluber now 5th most in Indians history with his 1,266 strikeout.
CC.
Swung on and missed. Pulled foul down the first base line.
He had to do a little jump rope over there, did Alan Porter, to get out of the way, but he kept his hands up. And I mean, it was very, very close. But look at, he never turned his body. He's sitting right on the line. He watched it, and now he gets out of the way. Wow, he hung in there as long as he could, man. That was a good job. He was right on it.
I hope everybody at home was recording.
Why? Why? Because I said something nice about an umpire?
You said good job. That one's foul as well. Gonzalez fouls one back. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, Corey Kluber passing CC Sabathia. And in the very near future, probably not today, but the next start or 2, he is going to be 3rd all time in the Indians strikeout list, behind only Bob Feller and Sudden Sam McDowell. They both have over 2,000 career strikeouts.
Well, you can see the at-bat that Gonzalez is putting up against Klubs. He's 7 for 14 in his career. He's hit him well. He's fouled off about 4 straight.
This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up here. Went up and in with a fastball, straightens him up. Try to go to a backdoor breaking ball. Missed wide, now a full count. 20th pitch of the inning. And the 3-2 is fouled right back.
This guy's seen the bulk of them. You know, that's what you hate when you're a pitcher and you're making some good pitches and the guy just continues to foul them off and foul. You just wish he put one in play. I don't care if you get a hit, just put it in play.
He's fouled off 5 in the at-bat. Sky high pop, left field, Brantley, and the inning is over. The Astros go 1-2-3. We go to the 3rd, 3-0 Cleveland. 3-0 Indians on top as we head to the third inning, and Jose Ramirez will lead it off against Dallas Keuchel. And it's up and away, ball one. Ramirez doubled and scored in the first. Ramirez with a hit in 6 straight. But after a slow start for Ramirez, and by slow start we're talking first week or so, first couple of weeks, he's been steady as she goes, just like always. The only real surprising thing about Ramirez is the burst of power. He's hit 13 home runs. It's not that he can't. I don't mean it's surprising in that regard. It's just the amount of home runs in a short period of time kind of jumped off the page at you. I mean, you didn't expect his name to be up there at the top of the home run leaderboard in all the majors.
Let's go back and think about how he started out, the kind of slump he had. He had one of his worst slumps ever. He was down below the 100 mark before, you know, he started kicking it in gear, and he had started getting 2 and 3 hits a game, and then the power started. He didn't have a double for the longest time, and now he has 14.
The 2-2. Ooh, just a bit low. Here's the crazy thing about Ramirez. As bad as those first couple of weeks were for him,
right,
he still ended up hitting 267 in April, which doesn't sound bad at all.
It's not bad.
He's hit 344 so far in May. Slow chopper to third. Bregman will throw on the run. One down. Our great clip of the game from last night. About all the Indians could muster. One blast to the opposite field by Edwin for his 10th home run of the year. That was the only run the Indians scored. They had opportunities. They just couldn't get a big 2-out hit when they really needed one.
Well, we've been talking about when you can tell that Eddie's warming up. The last 2 nights when he's had that ball, that home run we just showed you in his first at-bat here today, he's staying on that fastball away and taking it to center, right center, or wherever it's pitched. To me, that's when you're seeing the ball better. You're not trying to do too much. He's not getting pull happy. You know, when you can handle that pitch there that he's throwing away and you don't try to pull it, he knows pitchers. He knows how they're going to try to get him out. So he'll sit on a curveball after he hits a fastball. I mean, he knows how to work pitchers very well.
Swung on and missed. Boy, Keuchel went to work on him in this at-bat, Bill. Quickly. His second strikeout on 3 pitches.
Just continue to watch the movement here that Keuchel has. It's in and out. It's a great breaking ball. It started at the knees. It finishes below and in the strike zone. A nasty pitch.
Brandon Geyer, a 4-pitch walk. His first time up. And Keuchel right now has the look of a lot of good starting pitchers who didn't have it early. So you better get him early, because this is the result if you don't.
He's found his groove. He's found his arm slot, whatever you want to call it. But he's locked in right now. Look at the movement. A little changeup going down and away. He's got the cutter that goes in. He's got the breaking ball, and that's when he's effective. He keeps it right where it's at right now, at the knees.
Good fastball. Top of the zone, inside part of the plate. He's ahead of Geyer now, 1-2.
It actually turns into a guessing game with him, because you cut the plate in half and it's either inside or outside. When he's throwing it inside, he's going to cut it in. When he's throwing it away, he's going to sink it away.
Fly ball center field. Charging in Kemp. And he dives and makes a fantastic play. Sometimes you'll see an outfielder slide, maybe unnecessarily, to secure a catch. That time Kemp had to leave his feet in order to make the grab, and he holds on, and the Astros send the Indians out 1-2-3.
We'll open up in a weekend series, so get your weekend started off right Friday night. It'll be Sugardale Dollar Dog Night against these Astros back home. Enjoy the pregame out in the district, presented by Budweiser. Stay after for a Songs of the Summer themed fireworks display presented by Sports Clip. Just go to Indians.com for your tickets.
Corey Kluber has set down 6 straight as we open the bottom of the third, and Evan Gaddis with a mighty cut comes up empty.
An aggressive guy. You look at this guy, man. He looks like, look at him, no gloves, a big old beard sticking out, and he just gets up there, and I'll tell you, he swings it as hard as he can.
And it's 0-2.
And Kluber's going to work on him.
I was going to say, this could be a battle of the beards.
They've got some beards here in Houston.
Keuchel
here, and the guy
Gaddis.
playing hoops tomorrow night for their
James Harden.
Yeah. If you're in the beard.
I don't know how you could stand that when the weather gets hot, though.
Well, it's always hot here, but they play indoors. But yeah, just walking around.
The 1-2 upstairs.
Now I know why Andre's so cool here.
No beard.
Yeah.
2-2. Breaking
Good
ball.
pitch.
Got him looking.
Never mind.
That's 5 Ks for Kluber. One down here in the third.
Well, this is how the third inning ends. He gets a good jump, and not many guys, they dive forward when they're coming straight in like that. And he did it, made a nice play, covered a lot of ground. This young man just getting called up. And I'll tell you what, he's shown something in this series. Had two for three last night, stole a base, makes a nice play right there.
Showing bunt takes a strike, generalizing here. But do you think outfielders today have a harder time coming in on the ball or going back on the ball?
Well, they play deeper, so I'd say they have a tougher time coming in. A lot of guys, you know, the ballparks are a little bit smaller, so you can play a little bit deeper. So you don't have to worry about things getting hit over your head, but boy, you've got to break. You can't get fooled by a swing from a hitter to let it fall in front of you, and a lot of them do.
The 1-1. Fouled back.
Because even if they take a good swing and they hit it over your head, it's going to be gone. Or, you know, you would think off the wall. Unless you're talking straightaway center or something like that. But a lot of the guys, their first instinct will break back even when you're playing deep. That can't happen. You've got to break in.
Shoots it to third. Ramirez had him defensed perfectly. 2 down. Yeah, I would say it's really rare. Now, we saw it recently. I want to say it was back in Cleveland. And the only reason it happened is because of the way the defense was shading the hitter. But a fly ball that's in the air for a decent amount of time to land on the warning track nowadays is pretty rare because outfielders do play deeper.
Well, line drives are one thing, but if it has a little air underneath it, that should never happen. Even in big parks, that should never happen. Although it does at times.
2 down for George Springer, who singled his first time up. That was a pretty good pitch, but just missed outside. Even though it was a leadoff single, a lot of times if you're facing George Springer, that feels like a victory for a pitcher because he's hit more leadoff homers since 2016 than any hitter in baseball.
Well, he just swings so hard sometimes to get that baseball. I mean, he tries to, you see, he's trying to get it started, and that's how he swung at the pitch before that. But that's a good pitch to back him off.
This almost looked like a strike to begin with.
Well, watch. They want it upstairs. Kluber just throws it in. That's not a bad pitch at all. That's just a little bit, maybe a ball with inside. That's it.
And in the hole for another knock. And George Springer already with 4 hits in the series. 2-out base runner now for Alex Bregman.
Well, there's a cutter. Breaking ball that goes away, and that one covered the outside part of the plate, but he was able to reach it and get to it.
Bregman struck out swinging in the first. Nothing Cleveland here in the third. And just a bit high, ball 1. This is to take nothing away from the job that Todd Tishner is doing so far here today. But since you felt so kind to compliment the umpires, I thought it was worth noting that last night, I thought Bill Miller probably had the best strike zone we've seen this year. And if our Fox box is any indicator, he was on it all night long. That ball's hit pretty well deep center field. Back is Rajay. And makes the catch shy of the warning track to retire the side. We've played 3 in Houston. Indians 3, Astros nothing.
of an adult ticket. They are located in the family deck out of Progressive Field and home to the expanded Kids Clubhouse. Kids tickets are only available at Indians.com.
That girl's having a ball. Look at that gigantic, that bucket of popcorn's as big as she is.
She likes the bucket. Forget the popcorn.
Jan Gomes to lead it off. Takes a strike. Gomes 2 for 4 last night. Popped up on the infield first time up here this afternoon. Pulled off that one. 0-2. Even the 2 outs that he made last night, he hit the ball to the opposite field.
Yeah.
He's had a pretty good, very sound approach at the plate.
When he remains patient, he is. He puts up a really good at bat. He gets in swing mode sometimes and, gets himself out. I don't know if maybe he knows a lot better how pitchers are going to pitch him, but when he goes up there and he doesn't worry about it, and sometimes it doesn't seem like he's afraid to hit with 2 strikes, that's when he's very good.
Swing and a miss, and Gomes down on strikes. Let's go down to Andre.
Matt, previous to Jason Kipnis getting his hit in the first inning, you mentioned him changing his socks up. Well, it's good luck, and we talk about confidence maybe right there. That's the Fortunas. The kid right there is a huge Kipnis fan. If you can see, he's got a 22 on the side of his head. The last 2 years that we've come here, Kipnis has given him batting gloves, given him jerseys, given him different stuff. Well, he had a game last night, so he didn't make it, but his mom and dad got here in the 8th inning, and they grabbed me, and they said, they wanted to tell me a story. They said when the hurricane came last year, the mom who's holding up the Kipnis sign went to their son and simply said to him, get whatever's important to you and put it away because we may lose things. He went into his room and all he grabbed was Jason Kipnis' batting gloves, a jersey that he had signed for him 2 years ago, and he says, Mom, this is my important stuff. Today, he was able to tell Jason Kipnis that story, and Kipnis about teared up before the game. So maybe it's good luck sitting right down here down third base before the game. Here is Kip going over to him, talking to him. If you can see the face, that's his guy. And the Fortuna family is from Cleveland. They live down here, and the mom told me their son takes a lot of mess because he's an Indians fan and a Kipnis fan. Today, that made Jason Kipnis' day when he was able to see his favorite fan down here in Houston, Texas.
Great story.
Andre, if that does one thing for Jason Kipnis, you would hope that it would be, hey, whatever kind of year I'm having, it's not that bad.
Exactly.
3 balls and a strike. He doubled in a run with a big 2-out hit in the first. Fouled it off his leg, and the count goes full. It kind of goes back, circles all the way back around to what you said the other day when we were in Detroit. At some point, you just have to clear your mind of all the expectations, all the clutter, all the excess, and just say, you know what?
You got to step back and step away from it.
Go play.
Well, yeah, you've got to step away from it and just
rips it foul.
Sometimes you just think it's so important. Well, it may be important, but sometimes you do. You gotta clear your head and get rid of everything.
You can only beat yourself up so much.
There's only so much stuff floating around up there.
He beat up his Joe Boo doll back at home, and he realized 2 days later, he goes, I might want to bring that back. That may have been good for me.
The 3-2 fouled away.
But he told me that a couple days ago. He got rid of, he had all these shirts that he thought were good luck. The shirts he wore on game days. He got rid of them. He's changed his socks. He beat up Joe Boo. He's brought Joe Boo back. And Arch, to go off of what you said, I think he's finally realizing all this stuff doesn't matter. Like when he yelled at me yesterday, it doesn't matter anymore. I'm just going to play baseball.
Thank you. It's not your clothes. It's nothing you do. They're superstitious. Get rid of it all, and you come out and just enjoy the game and have fun.
Big bouncer for Altuve. And he throws him out 2 down. But it also goes to show you that athletes are just like everybody else.
Yep.
When you're in a fun, you will do anything. Whatever, as goofy as it may sound, if it works, you'll try it.
Dan Otero yesterday came out with his pants up high, 3 of us asked him what he was doing. He looked weird. His legs were skinny.
No kidding.
He came out today, and he looked at me, and he goes, I hate to tell you this. You made a good point, and pulled his pants back down. He goes, we lost. You're right. It's not my pants. It's me.
Eric Gonzalez a ground out his first time up. After the Indians' 4-hit outburst in the first inning, this game has settled into the type of pitcher's duel we had expected.
Well, how many times do you ever say sometimes you got to jump on that guy early when you have an opportunity before they settle in? You know, this is my favorite part of the year, is when, you know, the 162 game grind that you have to live and go through adversity. When you go through the good times, you go through the bad times. This is what it's all about, man. This is what builds team character. This is where you see you have that clubhouse. You know, when you're going bad, who steps up and who does what. This is what the game is all about.
Well, and the Indians on the year have outscored their opponents now 38-18 in the first inning. That's been a calling card of this club for the last couple of years now. Gonzalez booms one foul.
And now the next thing, when you do and you get into games like this and you get your early lead, this is the time, the middle part of the game, if you can add one more while Kluber's putting zeros on the board, to just keep separating yourself in the course of a game.
Missed outside.
Eric's done a nice job with his role, although I'm sure he would like to see more playing time, and if he keeps continuing to do what he's been doing, he will see it time and time again.
On a play to the right. To your point on the middle innings being the time to add on. Innings 4, 5, and 6 this year, and the Indians are plus 23 in the run department. 2 down, bases empty, 3-2 pitch. Altuve throws him out. The Indians go in order, and that's 7 straight retired by Dallas Keuchel. The Indians all time, or I should say not Indians, but in baseball, most 200 hit seasons by a second baseman. Rogers Hornsby along with Charlie Gehringer with 7. Nap Lajoie, and then Jose Altuve. it's hard to maybe wrap your head around how different pro sports were in the early 1900s. But
certainly not like it is now.
no, in a lot of ways. But, Arch, follow me if you can. You think about the popularity of players. I can't imagine that Nap Lajoie was any more popular in Cleveland than Jose Altuve is in Houston. And yet they nicknamed the team. They were the Cleveland
the
Naps. That's how
Right.
big he was. Now, granted, it's a long time ago, and there weren't millions of dollars in marketing at stake and things of that nature. But the swing and a miss by Altuve, and that's a half dozen Ks for Kluber. It wouldn't be that far-fetched to think that they would name the team. You know, this Astros thing isn't working out. Let's call him the Altuve. You can see that. As popular as this guy is,
No
and the
question.
kind of following he has here in Houston.
And he's on track again to be right around 200 hits.
It kind of has a nice ring, the Houston Altuve.
I'll tell you what, I think a lot of the people would buy it.
Yeah, they would. Carlos Correa grounded out in the first. And he pops one out of play to the right. Ramiro's on high alert down at third. Correa can turn on a ball with the best of them. But he bounded that one off of his foot. Luckily, he's got that shin guard to protect the front part of his leg. It's amazing how those things probably save guys some aches and pains, or at least some ugly bruises.
I'll tell you, it hurts when you fall them off your shin and ankles and feet. We see it nightly, but we also see the protection that they put there too.
Anyone who's ever banged their shin on a coffee table can somewhat understand, but imagine an object hurtling toward you at 90 miles an hour and doing the same thing. Got him looking. Corey Kluber has now punched out 7, and we're going to send it to Al Pulaski, who's got a game break and information on some extracurriculars. A kerfuffle?
Hey, what was that, Al? What did they get into?
And then what is that exactly?
Thank you. Did you look that up?
He's a college guy.
My goodness. I knew it. You looked it up.
Thank you. John Carroll education at its finest. A kerfuffle between the Reds. Boy, it comes.
I don't think I've ever heard that before in my life.
Me either. That was the first. I thought he said something bad.
I did. He did.
He did.
No, that game doesn't. That word doesn't belong in baseball. I'm sorry.
That word has been ejected from the game. Brian McCann with a foul back.
Kluber on the mark. 3 out of the first 4 innings, he struck out 2. 2 in the first, 2 in the second, now 2 in the fourth.
The 0-2. McCann just reaching for it and able to get Wood to it. And the 2-strike pitch is down and in. Now Corey Kluber delivers the 1-2, and that, according to the box, was just maybe a ball width inside.
All right, that was at that little two-seam fastball. He starts at the hip and brings it in to the left-handers. That's a tough angle to see it from, but it was a good pitch. Don't know, might have been in.
Oh, McCann just beat himself up badly with that one. Look at him looking at Kluber.
Yeah.
You dirty.
And Kluber's smiling. I'm going to throw it again. He's got to go down and try and dig that ball out, and it goes right off the top of the ankle. Now, these are catchers now. You can't beat yourself up. They take enough punishment behind the plate.
Your foot's got to go just numb after something like that.
He's not feeling it right now.
That was a direct hit. Put him away that time. Breaking ball locked him up. Corey Kluber strikes out the side here in the 4th. He's fanned 8. You by the 2018 Kia Sorento, the perfect getaway vehicle. Visit KiaDealers.com to learn more. And by Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. Be a good place to be on a sweltering day here in Houston. Either there or indoors here at Minute Maid Park.
That's a pretty good sprinkler system right there for kids.
Rajay Davis to lead off the 5th inning for Cleveland. Dallas Keuchel has set down 7 straight. It was a long 1st inning for Keuchel. Over 25 pitches made in that inning alone. The Indians sent 8 men to the plate. But since then, he's been in command. He's allowed just 1 hit since. The only base runner. But now, he's fallen behind Rajay Davis, 3-0.
Well, he was locked in the last 2 innings, and right now he just fell behind, but he was throwing everything down in the zone for strikes last 2 innings.
That was generous, according to the strike zone box. Last 11 games, Rajay Davis has hit .345. There's ball 4. And the Indians get their leadoff man aboard. Mid-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Michael Brantley started with a bang in the first, a one-out solo shot to the Crawford boxes. And then Jose Ramirez with a double, followed by Edwin Encarnacion, who doubled him home. And then with 2 outs, another double. Second time this year the Indians have had 4 extra base hits in an inning. The other was in game 2 of that doubleheader against Toronto on May 3rd. And that's been it. All 3 runs have been more than enough to this point for Corey Kluber, who has struck out 8 in 4 innings of 2-hit shutout baseball.
Yeah, they stunned Keuchel in the first. They certainly did. He got the first out and then 3 consecutive extra base hits. And he walked somebody, got the second out, and then a big 2-out double.
Francisco Lindor with an opposite field single in the second. Stare down between Keuchel and Davis. And now a slow chopper out in front of the plate. McCann's throw just in the nick of time to get Lindor for out number 1. Toughest part about that play for McCann is making sure that Keuchel got out of his way.
Watch the spin on this ball after it hits the grass. It almost just checks up. So Keuchel was able to see. He wanted to get it. He was going to make sure he got there in case McCann couldn't get out. But he made a nice play. Got him by a step. So Davis gets himself into scoring position now.
Yeah, almost like a sacrifice bunt. Michael Brantley now.
This is the inning you'd like to get one more. They were 4 for 8 the first time through the lineup. 1 for 8 the second time.
They had 2-0. Oh, Brantley turned it loose.
Yeah, he was looking for something he could handle, and he got a low fastball, and he let it fly. Yeah, those are the counts you can take a chance with when you're a hitter like Brantley. He took a chance of hitting one out. He worked the count to get it to 2-0. Now you get back into your, all right, let's see what you're going to do to me now.
And Keuchel tried to go to the off-speed pitch.
Well, you
McCann
know,
couldn't find the handle, but Rajay wasn't running.
That's why when you get a catcher like McCann, the veteran, you know, when you get hitters counts, a lot of times they go slower. You know, veterans, because when you have a pitcher on the mound that can throw his breaking balls for strikes, you figure that hitter is going to be looking fastball. A lot of times they do, and they'll go opposite of what you're thinking. They will back off instead of add on.
Three-one pitch and a foul back. Boy, that was one that Michael had and just couldn't quite square it.
So he's had 2 in this at bat where he's had, you know, good swings at the pitches he was looking for. But you can see how tough it is. He's still in the batter's box, and it's a full count now.
And the 3-2. Chopped to first. It was Gurriel with a good feed to Keuchel for out number 2. Rajay Davis goes to third on the play. Stat of the game brought to you by Buick. More walks than strikeouts. Jose Ramirez is +7 along with Andrelton Simmons. Alex Bregman, another guy in this game who's on the plus side. Joe Mauer, no surprise there.
You know, that's impressive. When you can walk more than you strike out, that's not an easy thing to do. Those are good hitters, good eyes at the plate. And nowadays, that's a rarity.
Jose Ramirez with a double and a run scored his first time up, grounded out in the third. I think it was a couple of years ago when Victor Martinez was in one of those good groups. He had more home runs than strikeouts.
Yes, it was about 3 years ago, I think.
And in this day and age, when it's not uncommon for guys to strike out 200 times, anybody that strikes out but below 100 is,
yeah, they look at, hey,
really impressive. Yeah. Down on the dirt. Ramirez, though, in some ways, I guess you think of him as similar to Altuve, in that those two guys both can get to the baseball, get the barrel to it, and they're not us up there looking for walks.
No. They go up there to hit to walk. You know, they're going to hit first. And if you happen to miss, they may walk.
Maybe it's the fact that they're undersized and they've been told you can't. So for so long they have that kind of determination.
It's an amazing thing, though, that when you can do that, you can hit the ball and still get your hits, putting it in play so many times without the walks.
Oh, what a job again by McCann. That bounced a good 3-4 feet in front of the plate.
Well, you can see he's being careful now with Ramirez, but this one, watch him just throw his whole top half down to smother that ball and keep it in front. So he doesn't have to give in here. He's going to try and make his pitch a perfect pitch at that.
And Ramirez slowly chops it up the third baseline. Bregman barehand grab and throws way offline. A run scores, and Ramirez goes to second as the ball bounded into the seats. So Bregman, do or die, tried to get the out at first. He could not. Rajai Davis able to score, and it's 4-0 Cleveland.
That'll go as a hit and an error. And this is it. Put the pressure on him. If he fields it cleanly, he's got to make a clean throw as well. But you can see Ramirez already out past the bag. So that goes as a 2-out base hit. Keuchel thought he could get out of the inning. He made a good pitch. But the Indians are able to put one more on the board. That's a big run for them right there. Ramirez at 2-out, RBI single, and then the error.
Now Edwin waves at a pitch, kind of crossed him up there. 19 runs batted in for Jose Ramirez in his last 20 games now.
That was just the 15th error by this Houston defense.
You know, even though Edwin was struck out on 3 pitches his last time up, that double off the wall in the first, it made me think about, I said to you when we were in Detroit, the Indians coaching staff really felt like Encarnacion was finally there as far as, okay, we've been talking a lot about him. He'll get hot eventually. He'll get there. And then here goes Ramirez. He waited and then saw how that ball rolled away from McCann, and a wild pitch puts him 90 feet away. But what they were saying is that the work that he's put in, and they start seeing things, and obviously they see a different game down in the dugout than maybe we see from up here. But the mechanics of the swing, it's all starting to, and we're starting to see, because he's hurting baseballs right now.
Well, and then the sad thing, he ended up having that neck problem or some back, upper back problems, and he missed that last game. And I was thinking, boy, you don't want to get him close and then miss some time and have to work your way back into it again. I was afraid he wasn't going to be able to play in this series.
But that home run he hit last night, crushed to the opposite field. And that ball in the first, he thought it was gone off the bat, but it hit the wall in center field.
This would be a huge run right here too, because of the error.
Just missed, down and in, full count. Keuchel wanted that pitch.
He's asking, is it down? He's asking. He can't believe it. He thought he made a good pitch. He wanted it. Where is that pitch?
Oh, it's
down.
clearly low, yeah.
See, now he's begging. He wanted to get out of that inning making that pitch.
And the 3-2. Got a piece of it. I had a feeling he was not going to give in to him with the base open.
No.
And he didn't come anywhere near the strike zone, but Edwin, he wants to hit too.
Well, he wants to hit. He was upset. I think he went after another low pitch there. But he was able to foul it off and live for another pitch.
Tops it.
Look at Keuchel's not going to let him field it.
Oh, what a scoop at first by Gurriel. He just saved Keuchel. Another run. Gets him out of the inning. But the Indians tack on one here in the 5th, and they lead it now 4-0.
When you served, we stand ready to serve all military families.
Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, where the Indians lead it 4-0 behind Corey Kluber, who has struck out 8, including the side in the 4th.
5 of those 8 have been called strikeouts.
Yuli Gurriel called out on strikes in the 2nd inning. Try to paint the outside corner just off the plate, 1-1. Corey Kluber is a Texas native, but he hails from Coppell, Texas, which is close to 4 hours away from Houston. It's a northern suburb of Dallas. Downstairs, it's 3-1. Hasn't had many counts like this today.
That's the first thing that popped into my mind. I can't recall any 3-ball counts.
And on the 3-1 pitch, a big hopper to short. 1 down.
Let's go to our Nissan pitch tracker and check it out. I mean, watch the movement. The slider's been outstanding, and then he's throwing these low darts with his fastball. But there you go. You lock them up on a breaking ball. It's like a little frisbee out there. You get a swing and a miss. Just amazing. All coming out of the same arm slot. You know, as a hitter, what do you do?
And that was really good illustration of how Kluber is in command here today, because you saw hitters taking 94, 93 fastballs, bang, right there, but he's got them, he's inside their head because they're trying to guess.
Well, you hear so much about that slider, and it is very, very good today, you know, so maybe a lot of these guys back in their mind are thinking he's going to throw that every pitch. And he's got a pretty good fastball today, too, at 94. And I haven't really seen a changeup yet today, and so that's how good that breaking ball is.
Marwin Gonzalez, who battled him tooth and nail his first time up, singles through the left side of the infield.
Might have saved him some pitches there, getting a hit early. You know what I mean?
Oh, is it
what
about
do you have,
11
pitch, 11 or 12 pitch at bat? I know he fouled off 5 of them before he popped up.
Well, Arch, what you said is what the Astros said their game plan would be. It was they marked themselves on the off-speed pitches. They felt that was their best bet against them. Matt, you brought up where Corey Kluber grew up, and he grew up about 4 hours away from here. We talked about this yesterday. More of a Rangers fan, but you know what he was truly a fan of, and you guys won't be surprised at this, Nolan Ryan. He and Josh Tomlin, huge Nolan Ryan fans.
Yeah.
Both, that's all they wanted to talk about coming to this place. They know he played for both, but they think of him as an Astro more than anything else.
Oh, Evan Gaddis drilled, and Nolan Ryan was known to plunk a few guys in his day. But Kluber does not want to do that with a 4-run cushion.
No, this is one that just gets away. They wanted to throw that fastball inside, and he just didn't get it out in front of him. Catches him in the back pocket. And the White Bear, he'll go down to first base, first and second.
And the Astros have a runner in scoring position for the first time today. And Tony Kemp to the plate.
That's the first guy Kluber's hit all year.
Way outside, 2-0.
Right now, the control getting away from Kluber a little bit in this inning. Well behind Gurriel. They have 3 straight sliders that missed. Hits Gaddis, and 2-0 here to Kemp.
Well, he missed again, 3-0.
Yeah, this is unlike him.
Well, you've got the heavy artillery coming up behind him. George Springer waits on deck. Kemp steps away. Springer already 2 for 2 this afternoon.
Taken all the way, which he should be. Make him get inside and get in that strike zone.
He went too far. Come back, Tony Kemp. He was headed to first.
Oh, you don't want to do that.
Third base umpire Bill Miller, the crew chief, on the appeal said he went too far. We take another look. And yeah.
You don't drop the bat and run unless you're trying to decoy him.
And from 3-0, Kluber now with a chance to come back and get Kemp. Ground ball to Kipnis. There's one. Lindor back to first. Double play! The speedy Tony Kemp erased on a twin killer here in the 5th, and Kluber gets out of trouble. He was down 3-0, comes back, gets the double play. Indians 4, Astros nothing.
Every day, only at Circle K.
4-0 Indians on top of the Astros as we head to the 6th inning. The Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen has been made for the first time this afternoon. Joe Smith will be coming on for the Astros. Dallas Keuchel went just 5 innings here this afternoon.
Yeah, I told you, 5 out of his last 6 starts, he's gone at least 7 innings. So short afternoon for Keuchel. He did go 4 innings one time against the Minnesota Twins, and 5 one time against Baltimore. So one of his shorter starts of the year. Smith coming on for the 16th time.
For the Indians, Brandon Guyer to lead it off. And swing and a miss by Guyer. Joe Smith, who returned to the Indians last year in a trade, was a free agent at season's end and signed a 2-year deal with the Astros. Fly ball, shallow center. Altuve calling, called off by Kemp. 1 down. Boy, how big is that when you think about Tony Kemp up there in that situation? As we look at the matchup for Tuesday, we'll be off till Tuesday. Tomorrow night will be an ESPN game. Monday an off day. But when you think about 3-0, you got Kemp at the plate, and then George Springer and company waiting on deck. And he comes back, runs the count full, and gets a double play ball.
Huge.
One of the fastest guys on the field.
Yes. Kept his composure and made the pitch, and I'll tell you, he worked, did a heck of a job. See, right there is where Gomes, you know, he could be sitting in a 2-0 count, thinking he's going to get a strike, and that one had to be a foot outside. Instead of just trying to stay patient and stay within yourself. There you go.
Oh, did he hammer that baby? Goodbye. Yan Gomes up near the railroad tracks. Which makes it 5-0 Cleveland.
I guess he was a little upset at himself, but he waited right there, and Smith came in with a fastball, and he just smoked it. Gomes, his 6th home run. You don't think he was setting him up there, do you?
Well, I've seen hitters do it before. I don't know, but Gomes absolutely destroyed that ball.
He came in, and that was a pitch after he just threw one a foot off the plate that he swung at. You got to wonder, Joe, what are you doing throwing him a fastball down the middle? That doesn't work. And Gomes gets his 6th homer, and they add on.
Only the 3rd home run allowed by Joe Smith. And this is 16th appearance. I've always wondered about that, though. When you've got a guy who's a catcher who's caught you before, he knows better than anybody what you like to throw in certain situations. Does that give him an advantage? Or is he up there thinking, well, I know what he likes to throw in this situation, so he's probably not going to throw that. You can almost drive yourself crazy trying to think.
Well, as a hitter, you don't get in there and start thinking of that. He just took a terrible swing at a pitch, and he's just, you know, he was trying to refocus himself. Smith made a bad pitch, and Gomes destroyed it.
Now Kipnis turns one around, following it down the right side.
I mean, he's basically a sinker slider guy.
Yeah, that's true. It's not like he's got a.
There's not a lot, you know, that goes into it. It's in and out, and that's about it. See, there's the slider.
Three balls, 2 strikes. Inside, he walked him. All right, let's go back and take a look at that home run by Yan Gomes.
Why wouldn't we?
How far does they say? 420.
Yeah, and in this place, when you hit it 420, it seems like it goes forever.
We're going to see Yonder Alonso pinch hit for Eric Gonzalez,
you know,
in the 6th inning.
Also with the lead, you get him in there defensively as well.
So 1 on, 1 out with the Indians up 5-0 here in the 6th. Runner goes, and he got a great jump. Throw down. Oh, they got him. Well, 2 things. One, that turned out to be a really good throw by McCann, even though it was offline because it was tailing into the runner. But give Correa a lot of credit for being able to grab it and get the tag on him.
Well, it was a good pitch to throw on, too. It was a high fastball, and that throw was sort of to the second base side of the bag, and you're right. He's coming over from the side, and it's right on the hip of Kipnis. And he ended up making the tag, and that didn't feel good.
Yeah, he might have hurt himself a little bit, huh? Trying to hide the pain.
See, there's the throw. And watch the foot. Gets that wrist in there. And, you know, you don't realize how fast those guys are going, you know, when they go head first. You know, with the
tilt.
I mean, and that momentum, when it carries it into your glove or your wrist, man, that hurts. They're getting up there, you know, at about 17, 18, 20 miles an hour. And all their force is coming at you, and you're trying to catch the ball and have to apply a tag to a moving object. Not an easy thing to do.
Popped up foul, back out of play.
And this building here, with the windows out in left field going from left to center is a difficult place to pick up the ball from our angle in the daylight. When it goes up into the roof, I'm sure the fielders don't have as much problems and issues with it. But you can see that's our center field view looking in. But there's a bunch of windows out from left field.
Aesthetically, it's what gives Minute Maid Park its unique look, is all that natural light that pours into the ballpark.
There's a great view of
but
it right
a
there.
lot of eye black on our players because they say there is a lot of glare.
Yeah, there really is.
A lot of glare during the day.
Well, you're down on field level, Andre. I don't know what it looks like from down there, but
there's certain balls that go away for a quick minute. You know what I mean? Like when you see it up there. Anything the right center, left center, for me, you can lose it when it gets up pretty high. And like I said, I know a lot of guys use eye black because of it today. Does eye black even work though, Arch?
Yeah, it may take a little of the glare out. You know, I don't know if like indoors, if some of their sunglasses may work if you keep them down.
Yeah, but if you wear sunglasses during the day, some old guy like you will be talking about how ball players have changed.
No, that doesn't happen. They've got the enhancers now, man.
It's
You know,
true.
come on, man. I wear them on a golf course, bro.
Wear them when you're sleeping. I know how you are.
Andre, you should see the trick Archie taught me once with you take the cork from a wine bottle.
Oh, yeah.
And you light
That's
the
what
end
it
of
used
it.
to be.
You
It
use
wasn't
that
eye
for
black.
eye black.
And I'll tell you why.
There's a high pop.
I'll tell you later.
Girder scraper. And the catch made. And the inning is over.
We all know for Corey Kluber, he has won his last 69 games when he receives 4 or more runs of support, and that goes back to 2013. Some kind of streak that he has been on, and it is a 5-0 ball game right now.
George Springer 2 for 2 today. Couple of singles off Kluber. Takes a strike.
So Andre, you have your ears on? Okay.
Always have my ears
You
on
know
when
that
you talk.
eye black that they use? I mean, it gets so creamy when you start sweating, it smudges, it gets all over your face.
Okay.
For you wine drinkers, you get yourself a cork after you open your bottle of wine, and then when you're done with it, you get a lighter. You light it up, you put that on your face, it stays on all day. You don't have to worry about it whether you're sweating or not. It doesn't smear. Beautiful makeup. And then get some baby oil to take it off when you're done.
It's called a 2-for-1 right there. Nice thing of wine.
Yeah, you drink the wine and then we'll put it on.
That's my kind of deal.
Used to use cork all the time.
Although, Andre, if you try that in a restaurant,
Yes.
You may get into a kerfuffle.
I was waiting for somebody to use it.
There's a pitch low and away.
That only lasted an inning.
It'll sound like a bad word if I say it. So
Yes, you better not.
Springer, swing and a miss. He's down on strikes. That's 9 Ks for Corey Kluber. Let's go back and look at that double play that got him out of the 5th inning. Watch how quickly this is turned.
Boy, done to perfection in half a second. Get rid of it, get it all in rhythm, man. That's a beautiful thing. That's why they call it the pitcher's best friend. It's one of his best friends. We always say the triple play is his best friend. That double play certainly goes a long way.
Alex Bregman 0 for 2. It's funny, I was coming back from the press room and I overheard an Astros employee walking down the hall talking to another guy saying, well, hopefully we can get to that bullpen.
Is that right?
And it's funny, you think it wasn't all that long ago you would never hear anyone say that about the Indians. Even when Corey Kluber was pitching, he wouldn't say, boy, can't wait to get to that Cleveland bullpen. But that's kind of the rut they've been in as a group. And they're looking to pull themselves out of that. But right now, the way Kluber's pitching,
well, they'll get a chance. They'll get a chance at that bullpen. He's what, at 87 pitches.
Yeah, and again, this is another one of those examples of Corey Kluber's got an inflated pitch count because he's so good. Because the best you can do a lot of times against Corey Kluber is maybe foul a pitch off. You can't put the ball in play, and so that inflates his pitch count.
Well, yes, fouling off pitches, that one at bat that Gonzalez had earlier, but an 11 pitch at bat. I mean, things like that add, because he normally goes through the course of a game where he'll have an inning or two where he gets under double digits, a 9 or an 8 pitch inning, because hitters want to get aggressive so they don't strike out. You know, and hopefully it's that. But when you're going through good lineups like this, that's a rarity. But he's on his typical game, man. He looks to go 7 innings right around the 100 pitch mark, and he does that, and he does it with a lot of strikeouts and no walks and a few hits allowed.
Altuve, there it is. The perfect example of what we've been talking about.
That's why you're a 300 hitter right here. That ball was
likes
off the
to
dish.
swing. That wasn't even a strike.
I know it. You can hit a ball, and you know what? He struck him out on a sweeping slider his last at bat. And I told you he's got great plate coverage. Watch it here. That ball is 6 inches at least outside, but he lets go of the bat just to make sure he can get there, and it punches it through the side. That's what you call a pure hitter right there.
Altuve listed at 5'6". His bat might be 5'6".
Well, he's amazing with his plate coverage and where he stands. And I said that when you're on that plate and you look at him, you're thinking, I can pitch this guy away. Well, it's awfully hard to pitch him away, especially if he's looking out there too. Just a great job of putting your bat on the baseball.
You know, it's interesting because we were talking before about Yan Gomes. And when Gomes is going really well, he's a little more patient. And sometimes that patience just isn't there when he's at the plate. When you think about a guy like Altuve, he's up there. His sole goal is to put the bat on the baseball. He's not thinking about, I'm going to work the count. I'm not thinking about, that's gone. Carlos Correa has just put the Astros on the board. 8th home run of the year. Even though he's been struggling through a brutal month of May by his standards, that 2-run homer gets the Astros on the board, and it's now a 5-2 Indians lead. 11th home run allowed by Kluber this year.
Yeah, he got all of this one. It was right there, middle to middle end, as a fastball, and he smokes it. So with 2 outs, we see the Altuve, bad ball base hit and a 2-run homer, and that gives them some life right now. That picks them up with 2 outs and nobody on. They're able to put a 2 spot on the board.
McCann pulls it foul. The point I was trying to make is that as a hitter, I think it would be extremely difficult to be patient, because you wait so long for the order to turn back around. You get up there, you've waited so long, you can't wait to get up there, and all of a sudden you're like, I want to hit, I want to swing the bat. And I can see where it would be at times difficult to go up there and say, take a breath.
Yes.
Relax. Take a strike. It's okay.
Well,
take
you know what?
strike.
Don't give away an at bat. With the more at bats and the more veteran you become, you start learning how to do that, because you give enough away, you learn. But you got to go up there every at bat and say, just let me look for something I want to hit first before I. When you get to 2 strikes, there's not a whole lot you can do. You battle, But when you get 2-0, you get into hitters counts. You want to get a good pitch to hit. Not many guys can just hit everything that's thrown up there. That's a rarity. It's not that easy to do. A lot of hitters, you get yourself out.
And that's why I think it's got to be one of the worst feelings as a hitter, to go up there and you're just so geared up to swing, and you swing at a pitch that's not a good pitch. You end up putting it in play weakly, and you run halfway down the line. You're already out, and you're walking about the dugout saying to yourself, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Why did you swing at that pitch?
Yeah, but when you think about it, the pitch Gomes swung at was that far outside, and comes back on the next pitch and hits a home run, and feel good about yourself after you got swinging it well.
Brian McCann, a hat trick. He has struck out 3 times. Corey Kluber has fanned 10. 5-2 Cleveland through 6. Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk. Proud partners of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. 5-2 Cleveland. Minute Maid Park, Houston, Texas. Tony Sipp coming on for the Astros, the one-time Indians reliever, making only his 10th appearance of the year. He's pitched a total of 7 in the 3rd innings. That's hard to believe. When you think about it, he's the only left-hander in the bullpen.
Well,
And they've only used him 9 times.
He likes Davinsky getting left-handers out better than he likes Sipp, the left-hander. And Davinsky, with that changeup, which we saw last night, does a better job.
The last time he pitched was almost a week ago. It was last Sunday. And he pitched 1/3 of an inning. Rajay Davis cuts and misses. Bounced it in there. 2-2. Tony Sipp has always been one of those really easygoing, laid back, easy to talk to. The 2-2. Rajay drives one in the air to center field, but back to get it is Kemp. 1 down. When he was with the Indians, he was one of those guys who was easy to root for because he was a late round draft pick. Sort of the kind of guy that wasn't really on the radar, wasn't a big prospect, but he just kept overcoming the odds and overcoming the odds, and the next thing you know, he worked himself into being a pretty valuable
ended up having a nice
guy.
career, because you remember he was out in San Diego, and then they went to the Diamondbacks and they let him go, and had a chance to come here to Houston as a left-handed pitcher and really took advantage of the role and ended up getting a really nice 3-year deal from him.
Bregman with a great pick on the backhand side, and he's able to throw out Lindor. The Astros have been playing some good defense, as have the Indians in the first 2 games of this series. We've seen some dynamite plays both ways.
Well, Gurriel shifted, did a little footwork right there to come take that throw on the bounce from on the back part of the bag. And Lindor had to go the other way to the inside part of the field.
You don't see that very often, but that's got to be a really scary play for the first baseman, because your foot's on top of the bag and you're trying to get it out of the way.
And you got to keep it on the base nowadays.
Here's the lefty-lefty matchup now, and Sipp has really excelled at this so far on the year. Go ahead.
Season tickets offer the best perks, including savings and access to Tribe Rewards. Today's Tribe Rewards code is Brantley. Visit Indians.com for complete details.
Left-handed hitters are just 1 for 15 on the year against Sipp. And a late call puts Brantley in the hole 0-2. And a ground ball to short, backhanded by Correa. Perfect throw. Indians go in order. Stretch time in Houston. Indians 5, Astros 2.
Terry Francona 1988 Indians jersey. That'll be courtesy of Sugardale. That'll take place next Saturday when the Astros are in town. So go on out to the district in pregame. There will be a postgame fireworks display. Visit Indians.com for your tickets.
All right, let's see how Terry decides to manage this game now, because Corey Kluber starts the 7th inning with his 100th pitch of the afternoon. He's got action in the bullpen, double barrel, righty lefty up, and you've got the bottom part of the order here for Houston. Yuli Gurriel with a huge swing and a miss. The left-hander up in the Indians bullpen, however, is not Andrew Miller. It's Tyler Olson. As Gurriel drives one up the alley in right center field. Dyer can't cut it. Gurriel's around second. He'll hold there with a leadoff double. Let's go down to Andre Knott.
As you set up the situation and we see down in the bullpen, there is not Andrew Miller down there. We reported it last night. He did not make it out to the bullpen last night. He ended up hurting his back a little bit. Back was spazzing him on him in the lower back area last night. Tito told me he was going to try to get out there today, but if we did not see him go out with Cody Allen in the 5th inning, and I did not, that means Andrew Miller is down for the 2nd game in a row as he's dealing with some back issues. So he's back in the clubhouse getting work on it and will not be available.
So now Corey Kluber facing Marwin Gonzalez.
He's been a tough out for Corey.
2 good at bats against him. And a strike call. Chop slowly to first. The flip. Yonder Alonso feeding Kluber for out number 1. And Gurriel moves to 3rd.
Well, another double-digit strikeout day for Kluber. And he's had an outstanding fastball to go with his slider as usual. Changing the eye levels of these hitters. They were able to get him with 2 outs, but he hasn't walked anybody. And he has pounded the strike zone once again. 42nd career 10 or more strikeout in a game. And he could use a strikeout right here, and he was able to get Gaddis the first time up, and then he hit him with a pitch in his 2nd at bat.
Just a bit outside, ball 1. And Gaddis chasing after it, evens the count of 1-1. The 1-1. Popped him up on the infield. Oh, this is big. Alonso in.
Yes, it is.
Makes the catch, 2 down.
You see, he knew he was going outside with that pitch, but he got soft contact. You don't care about the swing and miss. He gets the out that he needed. Now he gets out number 2.
Well, and Arch, that's one of the amazing things about Corey Kluber. And this comes to us courtesy of StatCast. Coming into today, Corey Kluber on non-fastballs, so anything that's an off-speed pitch, has the highest strike percentage of anybody in baseball. Over 70% of his secondary pitches are 4 strikes. And what he's able to do is then, because of that, he'll expand your zone, and you just, when you're down on the count, you can't help but give in.
In certain situations, and that was one right there where he needed it. And that's about him in a nutshell. For his game, he's about 70% strikes almost every game. I'm telling you, it's between 65 and 70 every game. That's how good his command is.
Tony Kemp 0 for 2. And you know, Kluber wants to finish strong here, get out of this inning and keep it a 3-run lead for the Indians. He also probably realizes this is his last hitter. He checked. Did he go? He did not. 2-1.
This is the at-bat of the game back in the 5th inning, when they had 2 guys on and 1 out. He fell behind Kemp 3-0. He ended up coming back to make it a 3-2 count. He hit a sharp ground ball to second base. They turned the double play and got out of that inning.
To first, Alonso fumbles with it, recovers in time, and the inning is over. Corey Kluber pitches around a leadoff double. Astros strand a man at third. It's 5-2 Cleveland as we head to the 8th. All right, thanks, guys. Here in the 8th inning, Colin McHugh coming out of the Astros bullpen, the 4th Houston hurler to work here this afternoon.
What a year he's having. Best ERA in the American League coming out of the bullpen, and 2nd best in baseball. So he's transitioned nicely.
Jose Ramirez fouls one back. 2 for 3 today. Doubled and scored in the first, drove in a run with an infield hit in the 5th.
Curveball. Coming in about 75 miles an hour.
That one's in the dirt. And it's 2-2. Ramirez now with a 6-game hitting streak. The other thing too, Arch, back in that 5th inning, and I know it wasn't your traditional RBI hit, a little roller up the 3rd baseline, but again, it goes back to putting the ball in play. But with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, he's hit over 430 this year.
Yeah, that's the best. That's the toughest hit to get in all of baseball. So if you got a guy that can do that, that's one of your best hitters, without a doubt. Hey, you take him when you can get him. That one is a do or die play. He topped. I mean, Keuchel made a good pitch, but that was the point in adding on when you could get one. When you take a lead early in the middle part of the game, they've been able to add one on in the 5th and the 6th. Although Houston did come back and, you know, put 2 on the board, it's still, you have a 3-run lead now.
And that 3rd run in the 1st inning was a result of a 2-out RBI hit by Jason Gibbons.
Yes, it was.
The 3-2. Ball 4 for Jose Ramirez. So the Indians get their leadoff man aboard. And then our storylines are brought to you by Ford. The Ford dealers, as we look back at the storylines today, hits with runners in scoring position, big against Keuchel. And Marwin Gonzalez had a good history against Corey Kluber, and he's had some great at-bats today. But Corey Kluber, other than the 2-run homer by Carlos Correa, another sterling performance. Now Edwin. 1 for 3 with a RBI double back in that 1st inning. It hit off of the wall in center field. He hit it just to the right of the 409 mark. Straightaway center field. Up and away, 1-1. Colin McHugh was one of those guys that just fell into the Astros' lap. The Colorado Rockies put him on waivers after the 2013 season. As Edwin fouls one back. The Astros put the claim in, and what do you know? The very next year, he went 11-9 with a 2.73 ERA as a starter. Following year, he was a 19-game winner. And in 2016, he went 13-10 with 33 appearances as a starter, all starts. But now this year, transitioning to the bullpen. And as Rick said, it's been a big find, a big addition. Swing and a miss. Down goes Edwin Encarnacion, 1 away. And it's not often you see, you know, a 19-game winner, and just a couple of short years later,
you're in the bullpen.
He's in the bullpen.
Absolutely. But then again, look who they acquired for their starting pitchers, and then you can sort of understand it. When you had a Verlander and a Cole, I guess, hey, young man, you got to understand something. We like you a lot. We still want you here. But he's done a great job, man. You give him credit. That ERA is .54 coming into today, and this is his 14th appearance, spanning 16 2/3 innings. He's given up just 1 run on the year, 22 strikeouts in those 16 innings, make it 23 now.
Brandon Geyer 0 for 2 with a walk. foul right back. Ricochet off the mask, and it's 1-2. Last night we had that bizarre deal where it wasn't McCann, but
Stassi?
yeah, Stassi. He kind of just got handcuffed on the fastball, and the ball drilled Bill Miller,
Oh,
the
yeah.
home plate umpire, right in the gut.
Yeah, and you had Charlie Morton pitching that was throwing 96, 97.
1-2 curveball and foul back. Jose Ramirez at first with 1 out. And Geyer, another ball. He rips right back to the screen. It was a fastball, but elevated enough to where he couldn't put it in play. Ramirez takes off, and Geyer pulls it foul. $39,926 the attendance here this afternoon, and the Indians have dominated to the point where they're just satisfied doing the wave right now. Haven't we? Haven't we moved past the wave?
I guess not.
Shattered bat, ball goes foul. Remnants of Geyer's bat are all over the field. A couple of shards here and there.
Once again, you hit it off the end of that cup bat, and you're going to get pieces going everywhere. He just lost about 3 or 4 ounces of that bat.
So long at bat. This will be the 8th pitch for Geyer. And before it's made, a toss to first. Ramirez was off previously, thinking maybe they'd catch him trying to get a head start. Indians up 3, looking for some more insurance here in the 8th. Up high, 2-2.
See, that's a pitch right there. If you think a guy could be running, you have the count in your favor. Just go ahead and throw a high fastball for the catcher, and it may be a nice pitch for him to throw on if you think he's running. But he wasn't that time. That was the element of surprise over there the first time. And now McCann wants to go out and talk to him, because this has been a pretty good at-bat by Geyer, fouling off a lot of pitches. He's fouled off the breaking ball, the fastball, and he still has it at a 2-2 count.
There's the set by McHugh, and the 2-2 swung on and missed. He struck him out. 2 down.
Climbed the ladder on him and threw a high fastball. He had one earlier that he was able to swing at, and second straight strikeout for Colin McHugh.
Yan Gomes, last time up, what he did to that baseball was inhumane. Luckily, baseball's just an object. He destroyed it. Gomes would have hit in 12 of his last 15 games now. including 3 doubles, 3 home runs. Take another look.
Boy, right on his swing plane.
Still never really got a good look at where that ball ended up. With that glare against those windows, I'm pretty sure it was up near the railroad tracks. Which I guess is maybe not a common occurrence, but there have been, I'm sure, more than a few hit up near that choo-choo train. And they've got Ramirez in a rundown. Gurriel runs him. Oh, he got a round out tubing. No, they're going to say he went out of the baseline, and they call him out. So Ramirez erased to end the inning. We'll move to the bottom of the 8th, with the Indians still in front by a score of 5-2. Taking a weekend out of it, but we've seen a lot of Indians fans here for this series.
You know, we usually do when we come to Houston. There's some Texas Indians fans, no doubt about it.
Well, here's Neil Ramirez for the 3rd time. Guy who's getting an opportunity, and he's making the most of it because, Rick, he's come out of the bullpen. He's been in attack mode. He's thrown a lot of strikes. Good velocity with the fastball.
Well, he came on last night, and I thought he did an outstanding job because, you know, he came on to face Springer, and he had the top part of this lineup to get through it. A run scored, which maybe shouldn't have, but he was right on target for that.
That looked like a good pitch, and for some reason called a ball.
Yeah. Just add one more start by Corey Kluber, allowing 3 or fewer runs, which is now 22 for him. And that's a record. He's been doing that since August 1st of 2017.
Yeah, Sonny went 21 in a row.
21, and Kluber now at 22.
Sonny Siebert. Step aside for Corey Kluber. The 1-1.
Yes, he did.
He went around 1 ball, 2 strikes.
He just went inside, and you know, he's trying to get it started. And once he starts, he cannot, you know, stop it because he's geared to try and hit it out.
popped up, foul ground, and this will get out of play, and Geyers slammed into that wall pretty hard, and he awkwardly went into the sidewall, and now we got to check and see if he's all right. They're calling for the Indians trainer to come out. Jeff Desjardins will accompany Terry Francona as they go out to take a look at him. I couldn't tell.
Well, it was
I thought
right
it was
at
just
the
his
end.
leg, but he's kind of shaking his head as though maybe he got dinged as well.
You know, when you go over there, he had a chance to, you know, catch that ball. You know, so let's see what happens. It looked like it caught him at about mid-thigh going over into there, and that's, you really just can't stop it. He might have fell in and hit his head into the seats.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely caught his head somewhere.
He clipped it somewhere. Now check and see if any fans are over there that he's going to run into as well. He has to stop, boom, and there it was.
Yeah.
The elbow right there of that guy's fan who was putting his glove up. That's what he hit. Watch the left arm. Watch his head. He's getting out of the way. It went into the glove, and that's what he does. He clips the arm of that guy.
And that guy,
he caught the ball, didn't he?
He made the catch on Geyer. I'm not sure if Brandon was going to make the catch because
he was about a half a step away because it was just, you know, it was out of reach. Good effort. Long way to go from where he started. Definitely over 100 feet to get over there. And that ball just got out of play into the first row.
So after all that, George Springer still up there with a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Threw him the slider, struck him out. After all those fastballs, Neil Ramirez finally put a little wrinkle in it. 1 down. Coming up Tuesday, Tribe Cubs, Wrigley Field. Trevor Bauer will go for the Indians. Our coverage begins with Indians Live at 6:30. First pitch will be at 7, right here on Sports Time Ohio. Down to Andre.
And on Wednesday, it'll be Adam Plutko that will start against the Cubs. They will have John Lester on the mound. Josh Tomlin has been in the bullpen last night. He's in the bullpen tonight. They're just going to skip Pime this way through because I'll start Mike Clevenger on Thursday against the Astros back at home.
All right, thanks for the update there. Well, Adam Plutko, you couldn't have pitched much better than he did in that spot starting the doubleheader back in Cleveland.
Exactly.
So he earns another
great
opportunity.
First outing.
Alex Bregman 0 for 3. One ball, 1-strike count. And a little low, although the strike zone indicator showed that was a strike. Second time since Ramirez has come on that we've had a ball that looked like it was in the zone, not called. The 2-1. That one's a little too high. Now the 3-1. And that's hit well. Deep and gone. Now it's a 2-run game as Alex Bregman hits his 4th home run of the season. Fell behind.
Yeah. Well, he's looking dead red now. Fastball, you get a 3-1 pitch, and there it is. He threw it down the middle, and he took advantage of it. He ended up facing Bregman last night, and he struck him out in that 7th inning. This time, Bregman returns the favor. As you mentioned, a 3-1 count. You got to throw him a pitch. He didn't want to walk anybody, and he hits it out. That's his 4th home run.
Carl Willis going on the mound for a trip. You got Jose Altuve, then Carlos Correa. Cody Allen getting loose. And presumably that's the purpose of this visit, to just give Cody Allen maybe an extra 30 seconds to try and get hot in case Tito wants to call on him here in the 8th inning.
Take a look at this 3-1 pitch, and off the bat of Bregman, 103 miles an hour, 400 feet. He got a hold of it. But you know what? He didn't walk it. You have to go into him. You don't want to start a rally by walks. So now Ramirez with 1 out. You got a couple of tough hitters coming up.
Jose Altuve 1 for 3, singled and scored in the 6th, and fouls it back. In the air, right field, back is Geyer, out the wall, and then where did it go? It went over the fence. So it'll be
It's a home run.
what are they calling on the field?
A home run. He's
The
calling a
umpire
home
in
run.
center field is calling it a home run, but I think it's a double.
They're going to talk about it. They're going to talk about it right here. Our angle was tough to see where it hit. The guy that was closest to the play called it a home run, the second base umpire, but they will meet.
Now, Altuve stopped at second. Let's see what the umpires get together and decide here.
Well, you always come back and challenge it and see what they decide. They're trying to get it right before they have to go take a look at it.
They're calling it a home run.
Now come Tito. Out comes Tito.
Well, he just wants to start. He just wants an explanation to start with.
Well, he's going to ask for them to take a look at it, even though they agreed. If he didn't, he has a challenge.
And they will challenge the
Sure.
call on the field.
They're going to challenge it because when. Let's take a look at this. Watch around the yellow line and watch the lip at the fence. All right, it hits there and then it ricochets over to the right. So that's going to be a double. That's actually a ground rule double. Watch it hit there and bounce in. It's the netting into the fence, or into the crowd, double. He'll go back. That is not a home run. And that should not take long at all. That's pretty cut and dry the first time you see it. But it'll bring the tying run to the plate is what it does. It'll be a double for Altuve. Yeah, that didn't take long. 2 bases, come on out. They knew it.
Tell you what, Altuve really juiced that ball.
And that was not an Indians challenge. It was a crew chief review.
All disputed home runs.
Yeah, you
That's-
can. Yeah,
that's the
you
way
ask
they
him
go.
to do it. And now Tito's coming out to make a pitching change.
So it's 5-3, tying run at the plate. Cody Allen is coming on for a 5-out save when we return. plate in the form of Carlos Correa with 1 out in the 8th inning, and Cody Allen being called on to try and save it for the Indians. He's 5 out of 6 in save situations. Carlos Correa, last time up, hit a 2-run homer off Corey Kluber to get the Astros on the board.
Allen was called upon in New York to try and do this same thing here. There was a 5-out save, and that one backfired. Hopefully he can come out and get out of this inning on a few pitches. There's 1 out, man on second.
Blowing away. Cody's last time out against Detroit, he gave up a hit and then struck out 3 straight. And Correa, big swing and miss at the curveball. Tell you what's really crazy, and this again speaks to not just the bullpen woes, but the Indians' plight of late. They've lost 8 out of 12. His last save was April 25th. Wow. They're almost a month now. High fly ball. Deep left. Brantley back at the wall, makes the catch. And Altuve has to scamper back to third.
I got to be honest with you, I didn't even see that ball. I know it was hit in the air. I was watching Brantley. When I saw him go back to the wall, I went, oh my goodness. Well, he gets under a high fastball is what he did. And, you know, that's not a very far wall right there. And he takes a step back into play. So there you go. You get the second out.
315 down the line in left. So it's a very short porch. You do have a 19-foot wall, but look at Michael Brantley going, geez.
Well, anything that goes in the air that way, it has a chance. At least you think so anyway when it goes off the bat.
Well, Brian McCann, 0 for 3, struck out all 3 times against Corey Kluber today. Downstairs, ball 1. Not quite a shift. Lindor still to the shortstop side of second base, but Jason Kitten was way out on the outfield grass, shallow right field. And a pitch up high, 2-0.
Well, 10 at-bats against Cody, 2 for 10, 5 punch-outs.
And fastball strike inside corner. Oh, beautiful. Good curveball. Evens the count at 2-2. So he went fastball inside corner.
Right.
Bang. Follows it up with a good curveball.
2 good pitches right there. McCann didn't like that fastball in, and then he dropped that little hook on the outside edge.
Now the 2-2. High fly ball, right field. Geyer will make the catch, and McCann is 0 for his last 12. Astros get a run closer. We go to the ninth, 5-3 Cleveland. To retransmit it in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Indians on top 5-3. Ninth inning. New Astros pitcher is Hector Rondon. He is the 5th Astros pitcher to work here this afternoon, originally signed by the Indians back in 2004 out of Venezuela. And the Chicago Cubs took him away after the 2012 season in the Rule 5 draft. He's had a couple of really good years. With the Cubs in 2015, he pitched in 72 games, had 30 saves and a 1.67 ERA. Fouled back, out of play. In 2016, that's when the Cubs went to the World Championship, and he had 18 saves that year, but he wasn't having as good a season, and I think they felt like there were cracks in the wall, and that's when they went out and made the deal to get Aroldis Chapman. And then he transitioned to the setup role as Gomes sends a sky-high pop to left. But I don't even remember him really pitching a lot in that World Series. Maybe I have selective memory, but let me see.
No,
here.
I don't remember seeing him.
He pitched in 2 games.
Okay.
2 1/3. The Indians got him for a run on 4 hits. He lost his fizzle, though. It was almost like Arch, once he got knocked out of the closer's role, he just wasn't the same guy the rest of the year.
Well, if you start the year and you're their closer, and all of a sudden they go get the best closer in the game, and you're sort of like kicked to the curb, doesn't make you feel too good.
Yeah, I can understand that, right?
He still has very good stuff, but the last time I saw him when he was with the Cubs, he just happened to give it up a lot when when he came in late in the ball game.
He was as talked about a prospect when he was with the Indians as I can remember in a long time. I mean, people were just sky high on this guy. Someone who will remain nameless told us one time that the ball came out of his hand, reminded him of Mariano Rivera.
That's true.
You don't compare anybody to the greatest closer of all time, though.
No, it's tough to. It's like comparing anybody to like
Willie Mays. This guy,
Babe Ruth. Yeah,
the ball comes off his bat like Willie Mays.
I know. Comparisons, not for young players.
Down low. No, it's in there for a strike. Says home plate umpire Todd Tischer. When I talked to Rondon prior to the World Series in 2016, he told me, he said, you know, I always wanted to pitch in the big leagues with Cleveland. He said, that was the team that signed me. That was my whole goal, everything, my inspiration. Right. But remember, he blew the elbow out, and he was coming back from the surgery, and he was just starting to ramp up and kind of get close, and that's when the Cubs nabbed him. And, of course, hey, you want to pitch wherever they'll give you a chance, obviously. But he said, you know, on the eve of that World Series, he said, boy, I always wished it and hoped it would be with the Indians. It just didn't work out that way. And because he said, you know, they stuck with me through that whole process, the surgery, the rehab, everything. 2-strike pitch to Alonso up high.
Well, they certainly did have high hopes, and you can get plucked off that waiver wire when after having surgery, and you figure teams. Obviously, the Indians felt like nobody was going to take them.
Yeah.
Coming off of Tommy John.
Swung out and missed. Rondon strikes out Alonso. The Indians go in order. And now it's up to Cody Allen as we go to the bottom of the ninth. Bottom of the ninth here in Houston. 6, 7, and 8 hitters due up. Ooh, and a swing and a foul right back by Gurriel.
Yeah, this guy, he loves hitting off right-handers better than he does left-handers. And he can be a tough out. Good fastball. That's That's what you need. Cody's got to get that feel. When he has his breaking ball and his fastball working together, he is awfully tough to hit.
Now the 1-2. Checked and did not go. This is a guy you definitely want to face in these situations. And so far today, he has not had an at-bat with a man on base. He's led off 3 times because he's tied for second in the league with runners in scoring position, hitting a cool 400 on the year. Popped in the air. Right center field, Brandon Geyer. 1 down.
Still had a pretty good approach on that breaking ball, you know, with 2 strikes. Stayed back and tried to shoot him the other way, but Cody gets out number 1.
Now Marwin Gonzalez 1 for 3 tonight. Or this afternoon. It's interesting, those with the glass they have in left field, the glass wall, that those shadows, there was a stream of daylight in left field a little while ago, but now, now just as I say that, now we got a little cloud cover. But before Cody Allen made that previous pitch, it almost had the late afternoon progressive field effect where you could see some shadows on the field. Maybe it won't be a factor now if the sun stays behind the clouds.
But then again, that comes out in the outfield. It's not over the hitting area or the pitching area.
The 2-0. Uh-oh, that ball is drilled deep right field, and it is gone. It's a 1-run game. Fourth home run of the year for Marwin Gonzalez, who came into today mired in a 1-for-24 slump at the plate, but he's 2 for 4. It's the 3rd Astros home run of the afternoon.
Yeah, that one down in his wheelhouse. He likes the ball down there. He put a good swing on it. And in the last inning, a solo home run with 1 out. And 1 here, so they are 1 swing of the bat. We're going to have a pinch hitter now for Gaddis.
Josh Reddick. Takes low, ball 1. Reddick was in the starting lineup originally yesterday, but then was a late scratch. Not in there again this afternoon. He has what they're calling left leg irritation, whatever that means. 2-0. Three balls, no strikes.
Well, that home run has got this crowd to their feet, and they are loud.
The 3-1. And that's going to find its way out of play. Full count. Four runs on 9 hits for the Astros. 5 runs, 7 hits for Cleveland. The Indians did all their damage early. The Astros have scored 4 from the 6th inning on. All via the long ball. And the 3-2 offering is fouled back. The 3-2. Fly ball, center field. Rajay Davis makes the catch. 2 down. And that's going to bring up Tony Kemp. Kemp 0 for 3 here this afternoon. You know, Arch, I was just thinking as this inning has played out, if you're a member of the Indians bullpen, you kind of have to have the same mentality right now as we were talking about with Jason Kipnis earlier as he's going through his offensive struggles. The way things have gone for the bullpen, you kind of have to have that, hey man, I don't care what the ERA says, I can't worry about any of that stuff. You just got to go out and try to get outs and finish games and not worry about how it looks. There are
at bat to at bat.
Forget about style points and what anybody else says.
No, you need it. You need a save right here. You need to close it. Yeah, it might be shaky, and everybody's wondering what's going to happen next. You got to make it happen for yourself.
The 1-1.
There you go.
If you're the guy in the circus on the high wire rack, nobody asks you how you got to the other side, but did you make it? The 1-2. And Kemp pops it foul out of play. For Cleveland, 2 down in the 9th. Rookie Tony Kemp, who was 2 for 3 with a double and a run driven in last night. Key figure in the Astros series opening win. Down to his last strike.
Yes,
and
he did.
Strikes out to end the game. Gomes will throw to first. That'll do it. And the Indians with a hard-fought, tough-earned 5-4 win over the Astros to even the series at a game apiece. That's the second time Cody Allen has notched a 5-out save in his career. First time in 3 years. And they needed it. As the Indians get back to 500 at 22-22. The win to